We first go to May 2nd, 2010, in which The Simpsons aired the episode To Surveil with Love, Season 21, Episode 20. This episode contains an outrageous amount of symbolism, and therefore we will be analyzing the episode in great detail chronologically. Notice that the episode aired one day after May Day. Those of you familiar with May Day will find this of key importance. In the 2 weeks leading up to May Day, we have the Waco siege, the Oklahoma City bombing, the Columbine and VTech shootings, and much more. Notice too that when you're in trouble, you call 911 when you're on the ground. In contrast, when you're in the air, you call Mayday. Notice the ground and air, or as above so below theme, already being inferred. The opening introduction is a spoof lip sync to Kesha's Tick Tock. We first see the school music teacher conducting in front of some key numbers. I won't read into this though. You can look back on the numbers after our analysis and see if you find them significant. The episode itself points us to time, and Marge even makes clear reference to the tick-tock theme in the introduction. Time will be of fundamental importance throughout this episode. The first scene in Moe's bar shows banners in the background that read isotopes, radiation, and atoms. This refers us to a nuclear attack of some sort. The next scene highlighted is in the classroom, where we see a calendar going from Sunday to Saturday, and not Monday to Sunday. This is of utmost importance, as the Sunday to Saturday format can now be associated with any calendar references we see. The plot of the episode involves Mr. Burns ordering Smithers to plant radiation in Homer's duffel bag. This later results in a police state in Springfield with cameras on every corner. Homer is next at a train station with the radiation-filled duff bag.
Now, the best mac and cheese I've ever had is at a bowling alley in Ogdenville.
Ogdenville was also referenced in another Simpsons episode called Marge vs. the Monorail, Season 4, Episode 12. In the episode, Ogdenville was a town that suffered a monorail disaster similar to the one Springfield later averted. As we recall in the monorail episode, Burns is again shown dumping nuclear waste. Both of these episodes strongly resonate train-related disasters and radiation. Going back to the train station scene with Homer, an April calendar is clearly visible in the background. I'll refer to this as the Homer calendar from now on. We'll go into the calendar analysis later. Homer then exits the train station, leaving his bag unattended. The lady who finds the bag appears to be a reference to Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Remembering Neo's passport in the movie The Matrix, with the passport expiry date of 9/11/2001, the message was, Neo isn't flying after 9/11. The Jacqueline Kennedy appearance could be referring us to the fact that she was not in office with her husband after the 22nd. The bag is then found at 3:35 p.m. The clock hands also refer us to 7 and in between the 3 and the 4. This may also be a reference to 7/7 or to 7:34 p.m. The bomb squad then steps in and waits until 6:55 p.m., at which time they choose to explode the nuclear bag intentionally at the train station. The countdown also only goes from 5 to 4. The next scene is one of the most important parts of the episode. Notice as the bomb explodes, the city layout is completely symmetrical. Every car, tree, mountain, and building is a clear mirror image from left to right. It's at this point that I want to stop and cover a theme regarding this future event. It seems that the next best thing to actually doing another 9/11 on 9/11 is to do a mirror image of the event. We know how important mirror images are in rituals of this magnitude. This may also explain why we still see so many 9/11 references even after September the 11th, 2001. Going back to the explosion now, the clock on the train station survives the blast and flies into Homer's backyard. The clock is still at 6:55 p.m. and sticks out for everyone to watch. What numbers do we see? The clock itself is in the shape of a 10. We also have an 11 and a 6. But look closely. The clock is associated with the explosion scene. The scene itself is a mirror image, so let's do the mirror image of the clock. And here we begin to decipher the intended meaning of the scene. The numbers we now see are 9, 11, and 01. That's 9/11/2001. So the explosion event is shown visually as a mirror image of 9/11 itself. They're literally stamping a 9/11/2001 on the next event. We'll build on this analysis later when we discuss the calendars. Moving on, we see references to a nuclear choo-choo, political themes involving an eroding constitution, and a resulting justified 1984-style security state with cameras on every corner. When the cameras are in place, we see our second calendar behind Chief Wiggum. This calendar appears earlier in time compared to the Homer calendar. As Maggie leaves the scene, we're shown an odd-looking map. We'll skip this analysis and come back to it later when we discuss a location. Next, we have Mo pausing and playing the Weather Channel. Looking at the numbers that appear, when we group them together, we get 715 and then 719. Assuming they are times on a clock, in the video there's a 4-second difference, while in real time there's a 4-minute difference. This may prove significant later on. Finally, we have another reference to a calendar. This is a rather elaborate scene, so let's break it down. The calendar is identical to the one shown in the middle of the episode with Chief Wiggum in the foreground. These are two separate scenes with Ned in front of the calendars. However, look at the difference between the two shots. The corkboard in the background shows identical black dots, so we know the artists have an attention for detail. Yet there are major differences in the other objects in the scene. The phone and keyboard are strikingly different. This points us now to the calendar, as we see a major difference. One date in particular has been completely skipped in one of the scenes. I'll be referring to this calendar with the missing date as the Ned calendar from now on.